on the John Day Reservoir, fishing early in the morning, and we're working more rocky area zones, weed patches, and this morning I'm throwing streamer patterns. It's just some generic streamer pattern, olive and white, which is a good color. Some shimmer in there. Oh, it's the SA Streamer Express. It's an older line with an intermediate running line. Well, I'm fishing a shoreline here right along this heavy boulder laden shoreline, and it drops off pretty good, probably in about 8 or 10 feet of water. And this is really true smallmouth habitat. Big boulders for them to seek refuge on, and lots of rock for things like crayfish. There's a little bit of current, but not very much, just enough to push my boat downstream, which is kind of nice. I can fish this very effectively, hitting just starting close towards the boat and then working my way downstream. I'm going to make my cast right up against the structure there and retrieve it back to the boat. And as I'm drifting down, working the shoreline and with as many casts as possible. And this gives me the advantage of putting that fly over and over the different tracks off the shoreline. And this is perfect. I can just ease the electric trolling motor, position the boat, and just drift slowly down and stream and throw my fly. There's a little bit of current here, and it drops off pretty good. And I'm throwing a streamer this morning, and just hooked into a nice little bass right off the drop off over there. Okay. I'm actually using a little generic saltwater pattern. It's got really hook deep. It's olive and white and green. It's a really good color combination here where I'm fishing on the Columbia and the John Day Reservoir to mimic various types of minnow species here. There he is. Oh, and I'll go back up to the start where I started picking up those fish and hit it again a second time, and I'll keep working it until I'm not picking up any more fish. Because a lot of times there can be more than one fish hanging out in those spots. We just keep moving, keep working the fly, and keep moving until I find the fish. That's the main thing. This whole shoreline comes down to a point down here, and that's another feature I like to find, are points. And I really spend a lot of time working in and around a point. When I hit the shallows, make the cast, I like a quick getaway retrieve. Just get it cranking here. Strip, 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 strip. Keep stripping. Then a little pause, strip. Because I think minnows, when they're in the shallows, they feel kind of vulnerable. So they kind of move quick, knowing that a predator can come in at any second and nail them. And then as I get to the deeper water, then I can slow it down a little bit. And wait, and let the fly settle down. Uh-oh, might have got bit there. Yep, there he is. I got him. Cool. I thought I felt the line suck forward, and he came back and nailed it. So I let that line settle down, made a strip, he grabbed it and missed, and then I started it up again and he came back for it. So that was great, right off this rocky point in front of me. I just puked something up. It's like a piece of crawdad. There we go. So my fly is, oh, I'd say it's probably about 3 inches long. Now I'm fishing about a size 1 hook. I don't know that you can ever go too big. That's probably an average size streamer that I'll throw for these smallies. Now I'm going to work a little bit deeper water off this point, but I don't get too much in a hurry fishing these points, especially something like this where there's just a ton of field of boulders and large rock. And I've dropped the anchor down, and I'm now on the other side of that point, and I'm going to work out here and then continue to my left all the way over here. I'm still using my minnow pattern. You'll notice I have my rod tip immersed down into the water, and that is because I keep a straight, very straight, tight line as I'm stripping. And the hook set comes very quick because bass, they suck things in, and I want to be able to feel that. See, it's from the tip and it's straight line out. And I can feel everything that happens with that fly. And bass will suck that fly in and they can spit it back out. So anytime I feel the least bit of resistance, I'm there. Now if you strip up here, the line falls and makes a belly, and you're not going to feel anything if that happens. Or if you do feel it and you set the strike, you could be too late on the strike and actually miss the fish. So for that reason, I always, anytime I'm stripping a fly, I keep the rod tip low. And also it's easier to pick it up. You get a quicker hook set with the rod tip being lower like that. I'm going to keep working over towards my left. I really like what I'm seeing over here around the corner. I can also see with my Polaroids, I can see some nice big rocks just under the surface, right directly behind the boat. I'm at a good range here. I'm not too close to spook any fish. The reason why I made such a big jump is because there's rocks. I'm trying to work to the side of these larger rocks. There's 2 big rocks right over here where that, in front of that larger platform rock near shore there. And just stay positioned and keep working it over until I'm confident that I've worked over the majority of this point. And that works too. If you don't have an electric trolling motor, just drop your anchor down. Oh, there he is. Got another one. All right. Right off the same spot where I hooked that first one. Minnow pattern seems to be working pretty well today. Oh, there he is. It's late summer, so we're catching a lot that size. Sometimes the bigger fish move off into the deeper water. You can do it, but you have to use the really fast sinking lines, and you got to count down your line. Sometimes it's just funner just to settle for the smaller 12, 14 inches in close and go for numbers. Like any kind of fishing, usually your low light periods are the better times to catch the larger fish. And I think that's pretty typical of the smallmouth as well. At early dawn and late dusk, you know, I've definitely have caught some of my best fish, especially with top water. Top water, I've done very well fishing low light periods in really early first light, and then again in late in the evenings before it gets dark. We're gonna fish. I'm gonna be fishing in, seeing what happens at less than 8 feet deep. I'm gonna be looking for rocky structures, rocky shoreline, and presenting crayfish pattern to see if I can pick up some smallies feeding for crawdads in fairly shallow water. And the rocky shorelines is the place to start. Yeah, that's actually one. We went jigging off the bottom. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to add a weight to the front of it. For my depth finder, I'm in about 12 feet of water. I'm within casting range of this rock outcroppings. Now I'm just going to get over there as close as I can. I can actually see the bottom over there, so I'm right on the edge. Now I'm just going to work this drop off. It's basically going to go from right underwater there and it drops right down into 11, 12 feet here. So I'm just going to make subtle little strips to bounce that crawdad on the bottom, because I got to let the fly settle back down every time I pop it. Lift it up, I got to give it time to come back down because it drops off fairly quick. They are, after all, known as the rock bass. It's kind of one of their nicknames. So it only makes sense to fish for them around and around rocks. It's pretty easy to, when you find big boulders and things like that, to find them hanging near the rock structures. There he is. All right, that was in close. All right. Good fish. It helps drops the fly down a lot quicker. Well, they can really pull. This is this is what's cool about fishing for smallmouth. They don't give up. You know, they just go down, back down to the bottom. We picked up a little fade. All right. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. It's got the crayfish, my little crawdad, best big crawdad in there. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. And you know, this is one of those fisheries that you can have all to yourself, and you know, it's a lot of fun. Nice beautiful evening here in the middle of summer in July. All right, thank you, fish. I'm sure this area has been worked over, but you know, I don't know how long it's been, and people fish different ways. I doubt there's hardly anybody fly fishing out here, and amazingly, I hardly ever see people fly fishing on the smallies in the Columbia, not around here anyway. Yeah, it's been a nice evening. I had water all to myself and picked up a few fish. That's always nice.